everybody, and welcome to a top 10 favorite Pokemon of each generation video, the very first top 10 Pokemon of every generation video with Coach Oak. So, this is a Gen 1 Originals tale. I am a Gen 1 Original. I did start with Pokemon Yellow, as I have said previously on the channel. So, as such, of course, Gen 1 Pokemon do hold a particular spot in my heart. You definitely did see a lot of them on my top 10 favorite Pokemon video, which was a little while ago. Plot twist though, two of them have switched places from their spots on that video, but stay tuned, this will be the beginning. We will go through every generation. Of course, this is the first one. It will be kind of a return to top 10s for the channel, as well as will be followed by soon by the beginning of another series that will kind of go in conjunction with this, hopefully, of top 25 favorite Pokemon of each type. Yeah, we're going 25 in types, and 10 for the gens. Hopefully that will just allow me a little more balance in life. So, hope you enjoy this video, everybody. Let's jump right into it. As I said, I started my journey in Gen 1. You start off your adventure unaware of everything. All you know is that you can't turn back. As your experience builds, you begin to travel more of the world, battling gym leaders, saving the world numerous times, even becoming the champion you set out to be. But then you stop and think, all this started by making one choice. That choice for me was take the Pikachu that they gave you. Hi Pikachu! Yay! Look at Pikachu, he's so cute. Yeah, so that was my original choice. As I said, my first game I played was Red, but it was not mine, and I was just playing on someone else's friend from schools. Yellow was my first game, so the Pikachu is my official first Pokemon, which, you know, makes a bit of a Gen 1er. I'm not really a Gen 1er. I think I'm more of a Gen 3er, but that's not really a thing. But yeah, so let us jump right now into the beautiful pixelated mons that are now beautifully HD, all that. But Gen 1 is home sweet home, and these were some of the mons I brought back to my Gen 1 mother. Number 10 is Arcanine. Arcanine, fire dog, looks like a tiger. Tigers are awesome. Dogs are cool. Fire is a great type. Yeah, Arcanine's cool. One of the things I really like about Arcanine is that it was originally supposed to be a legendary. As the anime kind of pointed out in that scene where it had the legendary birds and Arcanine, which would have been a weird legendary group. But so I'm glad they made Arcanine not a legendary, but still kind of difficult to find. You had to get it late in the game. If I was not running Charizard, or even if I was waiting and trying to get that Growlithe, get that Arcanine late game was always felt so rewarding because I got this incredible beast. I do kind of think of it more as other generations now. However, it is a Gen 1 original masterpiece. Gen 7 VGC, of course, right now, it is absolutely dominating the format. This thing is still relevant. This thing is still cool. This thing is still just really darn cool. Or should I say really darn hot, I guess. Brings the heat, brings the fire, it's lit. All those things that I don't really entirely know what they all mean. Anyways, yeah, Arcanine is number 10 on the list. It's a fire dog tiger. That's hard not to be awesome. They did a good job with this one. Number 9 is Taurus, the Raging Bull, of course. Gen 1, this thing was the absolute monster of all monsters with the crit rate, etc., etc. Most of you, I'm sure, have heard. Taurus in Gen 1 was an absolute monster, but it's still I've grown to like Taurus more and more throughout the years. I think it's just so sleekly designed. Like, the mane brings something to it that keeps it from being too plain. Same with the kind of 3 things on the forehead. It's interesting to think of, like, Hyper Beam shooting out of there. It's got the classic horns. The 3 tails is kind of cool. Very sleek. Didn't overdo anything. Really just kind of put their little touch on what a bull is to make it a bull Pokemon. Very beautifully designed, very classic, and I just really like Taurus. I do like using it. It's a fun tier 5 pick in draft league formats, things like that. It's a really cool mon, very good in PU. I do like playing PU, I do like playing those ones. Taurus is almost always on those teams. And as a special shout out, what would be number 11 on the list, but of course did not make this list, is Scyther. Also something I use all the time in PU. They can be similar in many ways, both fast, hit fairly hard, but don't have the best movesets for what they do. But yeah, Tauros is really cool. Sorry, Scyther, you did not make this list, but you would have been number 11. I really debated you putting number 10, because I think you, Arcanine, and Tauros are all really just good good designs of what a Pokemon should be. I think Gen 1 had some really, what are we doing here type mons, but it had some really just classic, and the mons that, when you think of them, you think this is what a Pokemon should be. We'll get into more of those as we go on. Number 8 is Poliwrath. Poliwrath, I always think of as Gen 2, I forget it's Gen 1 on a regular basis, but I love Poliwrath. Use it more, as I said, in Gen 2, which came out pretty well right after I started in Mons, so that's why it holds a real special place in my heart. I think it's a really cool design. It hasn't aged the best in terms of design. It looked a little cooler comparatively back in the old pixelated days, but I still think it's really cool. I still think it's really fun. Love the little fists. Love how it just kind of seems like it doesn't care, dunking Poliwhirl under the water there, you know, bobbing its head up and down. I like the hypnosis spam. Gen 2 was all about hypnosis spam on playthroughs for me. All about that hypnosis spam with Poliwrath and with Noctowls almost always. But yeah, Poliwrath, it's a really cool design. You know, Tadpole that grows up to beat you up is kind of cool. I think the battle between Poliwrath and Charizard in the anime that people always think of because it's what led to Charizard obeying Ash. That Poliwrath, of course, is really cool as well. Like, Poliwrath just seems like a mon that doesn't care, it's going to beat you up no matter what. And it just has a special place in my heart. There's not much more to say. That's why it's number 8 on this list. And let's move on to number 7. Gengar! The two faces of Gengar here. You've got the playful, kind of goofing around ghost type, doing some pranksterish shenanigans, even though it doesn't get prankster, but can you imagine if they had given this prankster instead of Curse Party when they got rid of Levitate? That would have been great. Anyways, Gengar is cool. Gengar is scary. Gengar is the original ghost. I thought the ghost typing was a really cool typing at the beginning. Brought a different element to the games, kind of more mystical side of things in Pokemon that really brought you into a different world that I still like to, you know, retreat into sometimes, because I'm here doing videos like this. I am retreating into that world at the moment. I like the whole line, but Gengar is really cool. I think the whole theory that it's Clefable's shadow is pretty darn cool as well, especially since Clefairy was supposed to be the original kind of mascot. So Gengar, if that was kind of the thought, they made this to be kind of the counteracting point to the original mascot of the franchise, and I think that's a cool little niche that people don't think about it too often with Gengar. And it's just cool. It's got the funny little smile. They didn't overdo the design, but it's definitely very mischievous and definitely very ghost-like. It can go scary when it wants, but can also be very cute, as we can see on the left. And I think that's, you know, that's a really good thing in a mon, that it can go kind of both sides of things. Or it has to do one thing extremely well, and this is the original ghost that's still competitively viable, which is, I mean, it keeps it in your forefront of your thoughts, right? Being able to use this, Gen 6 especially, I use this on pretty well every team, competitively, because I thought it just worked really well with some of the other mons, a couple of which you will see, 3 of which you will see later in this list. I will try to remember to point those out as well, of the core that I used to use all the time. Number 6 is Rhydon, the first design Pokemon. What a mon should be. A twist on kind of, you know, Rhino, made Rhino into a rock type, that's kind of cool. Made it stand up, become this fighting machine. Rhyhorn is a really cool design. Rhydon is a very cool design. We're not going to talk about that Rhyperior ugliness that happened. Rhydon's better anyways, because a Violite is a thing. The horn on its head gave it a cool little niche. That it kind of was a drill. I like the second horn as well. I like the sides of the head too. I don't know what they are till this day. I guess they're ears. I don't think they're ears, but skin flaps, I guess. Those are cool. It's a really well designed Pokemon. And this, combined with one other later on the list, is what I definitely go think to when I think of what the original kind of mon should look like. and kind of what drew me in, because like it's scary, but it's cool, but it's cute, but it's cool at the same time, and it just made you want to fall in love with it. You got to use one in a playthrough fairly recently of Gen 2, and that was really fun. Just reignited my love for this Pokemon. Using it in a draft league right now. Loving it. It's not the best at surviving rolls, but we won't talk about that. Super bulky, hits very hard, and it's just an awesome mon all around. I wish it got a little more spotlight, or they just made Rhyperior better to give it even more of a spotlight, but we won't talk about Rhyperior. Number 5 is Snorlax. This is where we kicked off our top 10 Pokemon of all time list. You get to see happy little Snorlax here, up and moving about. We always think of him as blocking the road, but he felt legendary in Gen 1. He absolutely felt legendary in Gen 1, because there's 2 of them. There's 2. That's it. That's all. That's all you got. Screwed up one chance, you better get the other one. I often would run both of them. In Gen 1, that's how much I love this mon. It's still around. It's still being an absolute beast in VGC 17 all this way. Even though everything else has gotten so much faster, it kind of lost its physical special, kind of split the things. But, Snorlax it can be really cute as seen here. It can seem really scary at times when it, pulverizing pancakes you. And overall, this is just a really cool mon. It brought something unique to the table, which always makes you remember it, as well as being very lovable. Everyone seems to love Snorlax, and it's for very good reasons. We can all connect to that laziness, as well as just, it's cute, and it's strong, and what more do you want out of a mon? Number 4 is Venusaur. This is another member of those teams I was talking about with Gengar. Chlorophyll Venusaur. Venusaur is awesome. This is typically who I will play through the first gen with. Yes, it's not the quote-unquote best starter for Gen 1, but it's also the best grass type by far. Sorry, Vileplume. Or Executor, I guess. Executor was pretty good too, but back then. But Venusaur is, I think it's really cool. I know it's kind of ugly, but it's kind of ugly in a good way. As well as, it was the only dual type, like actual starter being grass poison. Obviously Charizard did pick up the flag type, but I thought that was really cool as a kid. I still think it's cool. I like the poison type. It's grown on me a lot. Venusaur being able to anchor those teams is always great. Since fairy type has become a thing, poison types are getting even more spotlight, which I'm very happy about. Venusaur is one of them that does as well. I love sun teams, so Venusaur fits very well. Or maybe I love sun teams because I love Venusaur. But yeah, Venusaur, really cool. They could have done a little more with the Mega, but they made the Mega really darn good. So I won't complain about that at all. Of course, I will not be including Megas on this list, as those are Gen 6. Which means Gen 6 list is going to be very interesting when we get there. So stay tuned for that whenever that will be. I don't have that planned out completely yet. I like the little teeth as well. I know that seems like a random thing to say, but they look kind of cute. Like little teeth, just enough to make it look a little angrier with the slanted eyes and the little teeth. It's a cool idea. Grass Toad, also having the poison type, is a very smart choice. Good work, Game Freak. You did good. Number 3 is Gyarados, the third of 4 members of those teams that I was talking about with Venusaur and with the Gengar. Gyarados is, we've talked about this a lot in our favorite mons of all time. Gyarados is really cool. If they made a dragon type in the first gen, it would have been the best mon in everything. Of course, they couldn't have done that at the time because it would have been too overpowered. However, dragon or water flying is cool as well. Wish it had better access to actual flying type moves, but you never know. We can dream. Gyarados is still viable. Gyarados is still awesome. Dragon Dance brings it up. The whole Magikarp to Gyarados thing, of course, everybody loves that. Magikarp being so derpy and so useless is, made that much more endearing when it suddenly becomes this atrocious monster that wants to destroy everything. And that was just really fun. As a kid, getting access to some cool moves as well. Being able to run, Earthquake and things like that. Gyarados is awesome. I don't think I need to really validate that very much. This Mon is incredible. Everyone loves it. If only its Mega had been Dragon type. Nidoking is our number 2. This goes along with Rhydon as kind of what I think a Mon should look like when I flash back. Nidoking looks very similar to Rhydon in many ways. The kind of difference is, what is Nidoking based off of? It's based off of like 7 things. It's got a little gorilla in there, a little rhino, little rabbit, little monster thing, little terrifying, and a whole lot of cool. Nidoking, getting that access to Nidoking so early in the game, you can have it fully evolved by the second gym, always is going to be able to endure. Is always going to make it a little more viable in my books, as well as endearing. That's the word. That is the word. Endearing itself to me a little bit more, as it's so accessible in playthroughs. Get more chance to use it than something, say, like Arcanine. Always try to pick one of these little guys up, build it up by start thrashing on things by the second gym. And it's an absolute monster. It got so many cool moves. Fun fact, it learns all 4 of my favorite moves. If you know what they are, which I think I might have said them on the channel before, I'm not sure, but if you can guess what 4 they are, hint, it's a mix set. Put that in the comments down below. If you get it right, you'll win a virtual high five. But anyways, this can run all 4 of my favorite moves. It has 2 of my favorite types. It's got an amazing design. And it's very viable still. It's got utility and toxic spikes, things like that, as well as just, sheer force sets being incredible. It's a great Scarfer. It can even run poison point sets fairly well. At times, it's just gotten better as the years have gone on, and more I look back with such fond memories of Nidoking. But it's not the number 1 Mon on this list. That goes to the other member of those core 4, of Gengar, Gyarados, Venusaur, and Charizard. Of course, that was its Mega Y form with the drought, but Charizard is our number 1 Mon in Gen 1. No surprise, you all know I love Charizard. Its Mega form was in the 2nd position of my top 10 Mons of all time. This Charizard was my favorite Mon from Gen 1 until Gen 5. Gen 6, its Mega form took over. I never thought that Mega Char Y would be surpassed. It was by Incineroar, but that changes nothing about how I feel about Charizard. Yes, it's not that good in Gen 1, but also yes, this thing's so fun. This thing's so cool. Who wouldn't want to be riding around on a real-life Charizard? I mean, unless it was Ashes, because Ashes just burned him to a crisp all the time, he'd probably be dead, but still, that was funny. Gave it a really good spotlight as well. Not that it really needed it. It's a Gen 1 starter. They're always getting the spotlight. Sorry, Blastoise, you don't get any spotlight on this list, but the other 2 do. Currently running one of these in the Gen 7 PU, as you've seen on the channel. Omniboost Charizard, it's with solar power, is surprisingly not terrible. Even though it has to set up with taking a turn of solar power. But it's really fun. Charizard will forever hold that special place in my heart. First starter when I actually played through Red or Blue was Charmander. First Mon I think I ever played with, I can't remember exactly which one was the first I ever battled with, but I think it was Charizard against Moltres, to be honest. I know Moltres was the first battle I ever did anything, trying to help my buddy catch it. No, it wasn't Charizard. He started with Blastoise. Ew. He was weird. Started with Blastoise. And now all the hate comes now, but that's fine. Hit that dislike button. At least it's getting something. Charizard is awesome. I don't think I need to validate that. Yes, this is a Gen 1's original list. Yes, maybe once in a while I'll become a bit of a Gen 1er. Probably not that often. Compared to most things, as I said, I'm more of a Gen 3er, but we will get to Gen 3 when we get to Gen 3. For now, Charizard takes the top of this list. Tune in next time to see if it has somehow managed to surpass Incineroar on top of the top 25 Fire-type Pokemon of all time list. We will end that here for now today, everybody. Have a nice day because Coach Oak said so. See you next time, everybody.